I have more than 5 because I kind of stitch the data for the sample, be nice, but normally it's only 5. We have the main view, the master view of the client. We have the SEO data. We call it's from Onpage Hero. Onpage Hero. Do you know that too? Onpage Hero for SEO.
No, no.
No. Okay, I can give you a glimpse of the content when we get in that page, but it's a Onpage Hero and Keyword Hero are two really nice tools that we work for SEO for the client. So yeah, and when you use these two tools on Onpage Hero, Onpage Hero, you have to create a property inside GA to use it. And when you are using Keyword Hero, they will automatically create one property inside your GA account. So I use one here and the other here in the keyword view. That's just a main property that's the same. So, and the last two, it's from the Google Search Console that I create one for site and one for URL. So we're building 3 from GA and from Google Search Console. I will put to edit, then I will show you where do we have custom fields. And then I will show you how to find those custom fields because we have them already ready. So we divide our dashboard in four. Are you seeing me or no? Only the sharing screen.
I see also you.
Okay. No, because I'm here doing numbers with my hands and I have no idea if someone is seeing. So we always divide our dashboards in 4 steps. It's the awareness, engagement, conversion, and loyalty. And for awareness, the only custom dimension that we have inside, I just speak Portuguese right now, sorry. We have for the first page, we have two customized fields. That is the broad channels that give you earning, pay, and owner media. And also here it's the default, but we normally use the custom channel groups that we create for the client. So these would be the 2 different custom fields that would have in the first page. All the other things, they are like pretty standard, nothing that special. But I will show you later how I build these 2. Do you want to see later or you want to see now?
No, we can do it later. It's just interesting how you approach it. That's interesting. So just go according to your plan. I don't want to interrupt.
Okay. So in the first page we have 2 custom. In the second page, it's the engagement basic. That means time on page, sessions, search on the website, and here sessions, average session duration, and sessions with search. And here we have also custom fields. That is the group page depth. That's a custom dimension. We have content group. That's also a custom dimension. And here it's default channel group, but should be the custom channel group that it's also a case dimension.
Just to kind of speak a little bit to that for channel grouping. So, you can customize your default channel group with Google Analytics, and that's great. And you can also create retroactive custom channel groups within Google Analytics. And that's also great because then based upon your changes, you can look at the data retroactively. There's a couple limitations to that, but it works 80 to 90% of the time. The problem, though, is that custom channel groups you cannot use them from an API perspective. It's only in Google Analytics. So to get that same effect, we essentially use a case statement, which we'll kind of get into. And that's why we create a custom dimension, essentially, which is really a case statement recreating the custom channel group that we do in Google Analytics.
Cool.
Let me just try to. I'm still sharing my screen.
Yes.
Okay. The page 3, it's about our events we set up for the clients. I don't know, Thomas, it's 11 or 15 events.
Oh, we set up about more than 15 events, but then 15 pre-configured goals. And I'll go ahead and I'll link to that blog article.
Okay, good. So that's changed. We can change the events according to the clients, which one we're gonna show, because each client has their own needs. So this kind of change, but there is nothing really customized here. I don't know if you already know the MashMetrics framework for Google Tag Manager. Did you ever saw our container on Google Tag Manager?
Not your container, but well, I was working also very heavily with Google Tag Manager. We use like boilerplate with also few events. So
so it's fine. It's fine. We have the conversion goals. We also import some goals for the clients when we start to build or implement their data. So we put some goals here. Normally I would have put the name of the goal up here to be more understandable for the client, because I'm pretty sure that he will not know what goal 1 is. I don't know. So
yeah.
And also we put the custom channel groups here. And for the e-commerce, we have that part that's it's basic. Thomas, can you just help me out? I don't remember if that's just a custom dimension inside GA. It's that, right? It's not a case dimension.
Correct. The one on top is, this may or may not, honestly, I'd have to double check the GTM element worksheet, but I believe that is a custom dimension that we drop that just makes it really easy to say, is this a weekday or a weekend? Because obviously your traffic patterns, especially with B2B clients, is going to be phenomenally different between the two. So this gives us just a quick trigger without playing around with day of week and all kinds of things. The one below that is expanding upon that, taking the client's time of day. And what I mean by that is, for instance, it is 11:19 a.m. I am listening to the Analytics Jam during my pre-lunch hour. Priscilla and yourself are watching this thanks to your evening enjoyment and fun, right? But in Google Analytics, let's say this was all, on the website, or when you're, going to these articles, it's only going to show that traffic came in at 11 o'clock. What this is doing is it's sending actually your particular time as a custom dimension. So now we're actually able to see across the globe, independent of time zone, when are going to a site during their lunchtime, during their dinner time, during the day, etc. So, yeah.
Oh,
And,
We
cool.
have a spreadsheet also disposable on our website with the custom dimensions to put inside your GA if you wanna also do that part. Because once we import our container inside the client's container, we also set up the custom dimensions inside the GA so they could work for the client, and I'm able to create that part of the dashboard.
just
Cool.
one little tip and trick that we've learned. It's kind of nice and easy to set up custom channel groups within Google Analytics, because you can just drop down between landing pages or medium or source, and you can test out regular expressions, etc. And you probably want to do that first. Trying to create a custom channel group through a case statement is worse than the times we're going through right now. So just kind of as a tip and trick, definitely, create your custom channel group in GA and then use the rules that you use to then create your case statement within Data Studio.
But do you also do sometimes channel grouping directly in Google Data Studio, like through?
Yeah, I will show you, but I do as Thomas said. I start with the default. I will show you when you get there how you can build it without doing a lot of mistakes.
Cool.
And we have the last part that it's for loyalty, that it's only for returning users.
I like the word happiness. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's Thomas' mood. He likes to, and I agree, because that's the best part for the company. It's the returning customers. That's the lowest acquisition you can have. So it's for joy and happiness.
I also think it's very nice word, because loyalty is like loyalty is everybody's using loyalty, but happiness is really like the goal which company should strive for. If you are a happy customer, they will return.
Yep. Yeah. And that's that, each of these is our mission, right? Your mission is to provide awareness. Your mission is for engagement. Your mission is conversion. Your mission is kind of loyalty, but your mission there is to make that customer happy. And that, in e-commerce, that's, sending them tips and tricks after they purchase. And, SaaS, that's just making sure that your product is good. But happiness is that, people don't leave brands when they're happy. People leave, people leave brands for, many reasons. So.
But I really think this happiness is much better, because some companies, they understand loyalty like being in contact with the person, and they start to spam them with different newsletter or whatever. But it increases loyalty for the maybe short-term perspective, but maybe not the happiness necessarily. So I think this combination of loyalty and happiness is very crucial, because it avoids putting too much energy, which might be counterproductive, basically. So, but sorry to interrupt you. I just like the word happiness.
Awesome. Thanks.
Hello?
Oh, I
think Priscilla froze a little bit. Or a lot. Uh-oh.
Okay, so.
Yeah, she'll jump back in here.
Bounce rate is high.
Yeah, there's now a Zoom bounce rate.
Yeah. I just realized a few days ago, Facebook introduced like something like Facebook Rooms. Maybe I've heard about it. They're also going to Zoom functionality for Facebook users.
Yep, and LinkedIn as well. So I'm trying to get LinkedIn Live qualified. I'd really like that. That'd be nice, because that's our peer group.
Yeah, also things like LinkedIn is the best, I think, best group for leads, because Facebook is probably not very interesting for analytics customers, Instagram neither, but LinkedIn is like the best network ever.
Well, I agree and I disagree. People are still on, the same people that are on LinkedIn are on Facebook, and they're professionals on LinkedIn, and they're humans on Facebook. But that's why I don't necessarily want to advertise on Facebook, because that's where people are being human, right?
Mm-hmm.
On LinkedIn, they are being professional, and it's just kind of different.
But I think I lost you.
Oh,
Okay, now it's
Ah.
back.
Oh, and Priscilla's coming back as well. Looks like everything went down.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, do you have a public holiday in the US today, or no?
We do not. No,
Okay.
it's a kind of a holiday. Many states have started to open up their stuff.
Mhm.
We'll see if that's celebrated as a holiday in a week.
Because in Europe we have sometimes too many public holidays. It's like it's cool, I have to say, but because today I think it's everywhere in Europe like a free day,
It
and
is.
Mayo had the honor to be born on this day, so.
Right? Yeah, and I had to give much love to Priscilla for doing this today, because yeah, it's a holiday. Feel bad for the telecommunications companies right now. They invested so well and had everything like all evened out. You know, here's our corporate bandwidth, here's residential bandwidth. They don't know what to do anymore. Welcome back.
We see what on here.
I'm sorry. Now I'm back.
Hello.
Now, hello, everybody listen now.
Just a small little break and intermission, folks. We're back in a second.
We did some small talk, so.
No, it's fine. But the page 6, it's the last one for the 4 steps that I told you: awareness, engagement, conversion, loyalty. So I will also turn my screen and stop to do like this. And next one would be the keywords topics, and I like this. No. Okay. The keywords topics and one-page details, it's this SEO data. And these two, they are built in with those two properties from Keyword Hero and Onpage Hero. So.
And you basically don't take Search Console data to this dashboard, do you?
No, no.
Yeah, we do. Google search.
For one of them, which one use the Search Console?
Google search.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah.
But what you'll notice is when you use, you don't really see it in Search Console, but of course, when you go into Google Analytics and then click on organic search to see your keywords, it's 99% not provided, right? That's pretty much what Keyword Hero does, is it's got a couple third-party algorithms, et cetera, that it runs based upon your data and then other third-party data to come up with a much better realistic impression.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also you can see it inside your GA, something that without it, you were not able to see it. So it's also nice there. And we also have the one-page details. So that it's not going. Thomas, can you go and talk a little bit about the lighthouse? I'm not quite.
Sure. I'll try, but I am no SEO expert. But you know, PageRank is kind of gone to the wayside, and Google is utilizing more, like, you know, is it mobile friendly? Is it fast to load? Along with, of course, your backlinks and all of that. Lighthouse score is basically their new metric, if you will, for, is it mobile accessible? Is it fast to load? Does it, you know, use the right standards, etc. So that's kind of what Lighthouse score is. While Keyword Hero injects kind of third-party data surrounding your keywords, this is injecting third-party data. Well, injecting data, it looks up whatever page it's on, gives you that Lighthouse score, but then it's really kind of sucking data from the page, right? Your different meta descriptions and kind of things like that, as you can see. And then, you know, how many each ones did you have?
Yeah. For those who live in brief content, those 2 pages are like higher and very important.
Okay.
Lucas is kind of in that category, works for a newspaper, so just a small bit of content. But.
Okay. And we also have a dashboard only for Google search. But also there is, just like the other 2, there is no custom dimensions here. It's all, and it's not working, but it's all standard data.
We should probably think of another demo client, huh?
No, but it's only here. I don't know why it's not working. It was, I checked like when I had to do the keyword and.
Yeah, because I think you have a custom date ranges this month, and today is the first day of the month.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I thought of that earlier today when I got a couple alerts from our alerting engine. I'm like, wow, never do a dashboard demo on the 1st of the month. That's gonna be weird. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that one. I think it's just because it's the first of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not broken. At least. So that's basic, like the dashboard that we can use the dimensions, custom fields and stuff like that. The paid media, it's also just a dashboard with standards. We don't have like a big example on the dashboard for this, but even though we could use that part to show Facebook and Google data together for the client with Supermetric. We don't have an example about it to show right now, but Thomas, do you want me to go into the audit part or just go to the case dimensions?
Well, did anyone on the call have any questions, comments, concerns, etc., on kind of that first part about the different data sources, I guess you could still call them?
No, I just like it, and I just wanted to ask you maybe if you were considering to put all to build kind of data lake, data warehouse, whatever in Google Cloud from all these data sources, and to push Google Cloud data directly to Data Studio, just to make connection in cloud, and then use it as a data source for Data Studio. If you were doing it, or if you think there are some advantages of doing reporting like that. Do you know what I mean? Maybe.
100%. Surprisingly, there would be a lot of advantages to that, because for one, the larger our client, it's actually not so much larger clients, but if they have a lot of pages or a lot going on kind of thing, Data Studio is pretty darn slow, honestly.
Yeah.
Pushing all of this actually to BigQuery, and then actually using making a lot. The con of that is, of course, the maintenance and the resources to have that ability. But what we've kind of started to do, more or less, that's where Domo really comes in, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
While individually Domo isn't, it's definitely in your kind of enterprise sort of realm. But as a small agency, I either would have had to hire another Mayo, or, basically have robust technology that did that maintenance, the exportation, everything like that, plus created the queries, custom queries, all of that kind of fun stuff, right? Domo is allowing us just to kind of, all of us, not just Mayo, but also Priscilla and everyone else that's not as necessarily as technically inclined to, run robust sequences, do a lot of ETL. So there would be some advantages, and I think if we hadn't made the decision to invest in Domo, that's probably maybe a next step.
Okay.
Because the other cool part of that is now we can take that Keyword Hero organic data along with your AdWords keyword data, and what phrases am I doing okay with organically and should cut on paid, and et cetera, et cetera. But blending those data sources is certainly kind of a next step mission. But
okay,
cool.
Okay, just what I was curious, because I was thinking about this Google Cloud integration, but once you have all the data there, somehow it's a long-term process kind of for some clients. But then you can start maybe upselling with the artificial intelligence and this kind of stuff, because it's already prepared there. And that's it. I think it's the biggest advantage why I would maybe sometimes consider for some big clients who are not using artificial intelligence yet to do it in Google Cloud, because then you can make only few changes and it works. Yeah.
And that's probably the, other than speed, you hit it right on. Once this data is in something like a BigQuery or Google Cloud, you can start to run auto ML. You can, start to do, cumulative summaries, as we've seen, kind of like Mayo do on the last couple calls. One other kind of thing you do that we don't really show within these dashboards, but every hit is also stamped with a custom dimension of a client ID and a session ID. And then it goes in as Google Analytics as a user scope and a session scope dimension. And so we can actually extract that data, and that's what you'd want to run into BigQuery. Because your algorithms aren't going to work very well with aggregated data. They're only going to work with like individual activity data, right? And so by providing the client ID as a custom dimension, that allows us to do that without paying $10,000 a month for Google Analytics 360. So there.
No, I was just curious. Maybe it was a little bit not only connected with dashboarding, but I was just curious if you were thinking about this approach. But Maya was very happy about demo, so I'm happy. I think it's a great, really great tool.
I think it's because it allows us to get the best of both worlds, you know, really. Cool.
Now I will show you how to find the case dimensions that I was talking about the custom fields. Here we have like broad channels, we have the default channels group. We have a open, it's share on GitHub. We have this page or this folder, and we have broad channels, custom content group, default channel group, grouped position, and group page depth. I will show you first the broad channels. It's the own, earn, and paid. We change sometimes from time to time for each client, but we try to always use that one as the standard. Sometimes we update it because we see that we should put something else or taking out something else. So that's how I build. Every time I copy my dashboard, I go to GitHub and copy and paste these inside the Google Data Studio.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's really easy, and you can have access here. It's not, I believe it's not a private folder. About the custom channel group, every time we set up inside GA, we go there and set up the custom channels groups. I start to build the case statement. That's the original one from Google. I got inside Google's website. So that's how Google Analytics build up the dimensions by default. So we do an analysis for the client, and we start building through here. We probably can put some YouTube here, not here, but in somewhere. There was time that we divide paid search between Google paid search, others paid search, and I start with here, and in the end will look something like this. No, that's the same. No, that's not the same. All brands, affiliates, paid social, online direct. That was a very peculiar, and he was it's very specific. Detail, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I would start with the original one from Google and change and mix it up with some, because this one and I like to keep that one as example, because here we use query match type, or we normally don't use that so much for other clients. And we also use the own default channel grouping here too. But now every time I just start to build with the original one. It was easier, and we start to have less mistakes when we were comparing Google Data Studio with Google Analytics data. And this one is the content group. In the second page here, we have, I believe, 2 custom fields. One is for page dev, and the other one is for content group. And we also, because sometimes when you copy a dashboard, not sometimes, always, he kind of don't copy the custom fields and just appear as broken. So we decide to put that all those case dimensions inside the GitHub, so we don't have that problem anymore. So these both, they are inside GitHub too, here and here. So this, it's kind of could look like our content group by link page, by page. And this is how it would look like. And that's the case dimension for the page dev to group in them too. And this one we don't change, we just copy and paste because it's the same for all clients, most of the clients or all clients. In that one here, it's the case dimension for the keyword page that we also use. It's kind of the page dev. It's not like it changed that much, so we just copy and paste, but normally it's working well. And do you have, I will send you the link so you can check in the end. How do I talk? We don't have chat. Oh, we do. Oops. Do you have any specific questions about the case dimensions?
No, I think it was really good explained.
I sent you the link for GitHub if you wanna save it and look later.
Thank you.
So from my side, that's the way that I always have to get through when I'm replicating MashMetrics dashboard, or how we like to say, the mesh board. Thomas, are you there?
Well done. Well done. Branding included. Excellent. 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 Can you go back through Keyword Hero or go to the Keyword Hero page for a second? A couple of things I just kind of wanted to pinpoint out, especially from a content perspective. Yeah, so one other thing that Keyword Hero does, one kind of helps you with the key phrases and that kind of thing, but also you can see you have your rankings, right? So we can quickly see how's our #1 positions, 2 through 4, et cetera, et cetera. And instead of breaking that down by, 1 through 100, again, grouping kind of helps, get that visualization a little bit better. Yeah, go ahead and click on that.
Here?
If you could. Yeah, the position grouping. And then let's look at that case dimension. So a lot of times people kind of use case dimensions just to, rename things, stuff like that. This is where we use it to, really group, right? Because otherwise this would be such a, a huge kind of report. This allows us to really kind of customize this. So just FYI.
Yeah.
Let me, wanted to kind of demonstrate that. And there's the Onpage Hero. Yeah.
That is something that you want to share, that you do differently than we do?
No, actually, I do it pretty similar. I just am wondering if you, because I work for a newspaper. I do this reporting also for journalists, which might be not very number friendly. So I'm just wondering if you also have some experience with the audience where you would where they would tell you it's a little bit too complicated and too many numbers, or I need more graphic explanation. Or I'm just wondering because for a C-level management, this is probably the best thing you can do. But if you have like a creative marketing director or editor in chief,
Can I show you something?
mm-hmm.
When I start here with Thomas, we have these dashboard for audit, and Thomas always put some notes here, you see, on the dashboard, and that really helped me. We don't have now, but sometimes we put like this topic as a question that on the other dashboards, it's, if you look at, we have some questions there. Which channel is bringing more revenue for website? So for those audience without many data knowledge, or that see numbers and say, oh, I'm not able to, I would do like this. I would also put answers, one graphic, and one note about what they should see or look, or what they should like, oh, if it's like that, just like here. If bounce rate is below 20 or above 95, you may have issues. So I would do something like that.
Okay, so but when you introduce this dashboard like first time for C management level, you would probably go through every single graphic,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
there will be
but
like introductory workshop, I guess.
yeah, but the C level, he will probably not like, he will understand, and here's the name of the thing that he should watch it. But if it's journalist or blog or stuff like that, and they are not like really used to see dashboard, I would do a different dashboard, like with less graphic, and maybe more like step by step, or seeing what they should focus on.
Okay.
With small explanations and stuff.
Because now I'm also, do you also using like conditional formatting?
Okay.
Because now I think there is a kind of new thing, or I think it's a very new implementation where you can set up conditional formatting. For example, if scroll tracking reaches less than 2,000 users, it will be written in red. And actually this is for me the functionality of the year, because through this I really can communicate my message in the red, orange and green color, so they can have better understanding of the action. And it's kind of automatic when we kind of define KPIs which we want to reach with which event. And this conditional formatting is really great thing. And I just wondering if you also use it a little bit heavily.
We have not updated this with conditional formatting, I gotta say. But yeah, I know what you mean from using it. Super effective. And yeah, I would again highlight what Priscilla said on, especially kind of when it's a new audience, state the question that the report answers. Is your content engaging to your target audience? Boom. And then that would be, maybe your scroll tracking report or time on page report or things like that. Because then, you're forming that question in their mind. Otherwise, it's just a label that they probably don't understand what it's really for, Trying to get to kind of another.
Let me stop sharing.
I've got this other kind of principle where you're utilizing a scatter plot, and It's essentially split into ready for growth, needs improvement, and then in the middle of no action needed. Because, you know, a lot of times that's where the, you know, the data is kind of within those three categories. I should say, like, let's say performance, right? And we'll just be very, very basic and brief. Don't argue with me on this. Bounce rate versus versus volume, okay? You know, if you plot that, you're going to see your pages that have a ton of volume, you know, medium bounce rate, high bounce rate, low bounce rate, etc. But the pages that aren't getting a lot of traffic, some traffic, but not a lot of traffic, but have a low bounce rate, well, you're kind of primed to grow those areas, right? Like they're ready to start sending more traffic because they're, for, you know, oversimplistically, they're optimized. Versus the ones that, you know, are getting a lot of traffic, but they're also getting a high bounce rate. Well, we've got to do something about those, right? Because they're already generating a lot of traffic and they're not performing well, right? So there's action to be done there. Then, just as importantly, quite frankly, there in the middle are pages that, you know, you know, they're not getting a lot of traffic, so it doesn't matter whether they have a high bounce rate or not, or they're getting a good amount of traffic or a fair amount of traffic and a fair amount of, you know, bounce rate. So we'll just let to see what's happening. But, you know, a lot of times it's just as important to know what really not to worry about, right? Because we got a billion other things to worry about. So it's good to just kind of put those to the side. So that's another way, you know, using a scatter plot that I've kind of, you know, it's very much like conditional formatting, but it's a little bit more actionable of what they can do with that. I can find an example real quick. Hold on 1 second. Probably find it. Here we go. Yeah.
Are you sharing something?
I'm gonna be.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is the day
sorry.
for our newsroom would laugh.
Right. 3 graphics. 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think this is it though. Okay, this might be. No. Yes. Come on. So when you talked about your advantages of pre-extracting data and putting it into Google Cloud somewhere, and then using that for Data Studio, oh shit, man, all that in time. I thought for sure I had in here was one of those where I had that. Well, I'll dig that and send it to you, Lucas, for that kind of improve or grow or do nothing kind of scatter plot there.
Oh, don't worry.
Cool. Well, Priscilla, awesome.
Hello.
Awesome. Great job.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was very good. Thank you.
We have to thank you because you were at 9, almost at 8 o'clock Friday, listen to us, listen to me. So I'm very grateful for you staying and give that support.
No, for me, look, it's very interesting, all these topics, because like I like to understand how everybody is approaching it. And it's funny. So thank you for your time as well, because you also live in Germany, so you also have holiday technically. So, but it was very nice. Thank you.
Go celebrate. Cool. Thanks again, Priscilla. Have a great one.
Bye, guys.
Ciao,
Bye.
ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.